Alrighty, so these are a rundown of brands that I tried in 2018 that I had never tried before, and I just wanted to let you know what I thought of all these new brands that I had tried. Well, they're not all new brands, but they were new to me because I had never tried them. Okay, so firstly, I have on my lap my ColourPop palettes, and I have my Chasing Rainbows palette and my Disney Designer palette. And my notes say here that they have amazing blendability, they're very pigmented, and I was shocked with the quality versus the price. So this is what the Disney one looked like, which was the very first one that I tried, and this one was the Chasing Rainbows. This was the second one that I tried, and I think this was like the next release after this one, because I know for a fact this one came first. Something that I've continuously said since trying ColourPop, that I just feel like they should be even bigger than they are. They are already quite a big brand. A lot of people know ColourPop. They come out with stuff literally every single week, almost without fail. They've got something new. I'm not too keen on that speed of release. I prefer to have something and then be able to enjoy it a little bit before they release something else. But even in saying that, it's like not every release is targeted toward me, and I don't necessarily like everything that they have released. But these two items that I did pick up, I absolutely adored. And I would say, listen, if you haven't already tried ColourPop, which I'm sure the majority of you have already, I would say definitely pick it up, because quite frankly, I feel like their quality versus the price point, amazing. I mean, was this palette like $20 or something to that effect? And I just loved it. I mean, when you look at it, you just kind of think, oh, it's just a boring natural palette. No, it was really good. And this Chasing Rainbows palette, I didn't necessarily get like rainbows from it, but I still really liked it. I still love the quality. Amazing, beautiful. Then I have the Eye Candy Cosmetics palette. This is the Pina Colada palette, and it says here it had a top layer which wouldn't swatch, but once I got underneath the top layer, then it swatched really good. What I will say is that I have tried to look for them since, see if there was anything else that they had released, and I can't seem to find them. I'm not too sure if they've gone out of business, if they've rebranded, if they've just changed their tags, but I couldn't even find their website, so I do think that they've gone out of business. But yeah, as I said, I found that there was a top layer on the eyeshadows. Once I'd gotten the top layer off, they swatched really good. I don't feel like the quality of this is like amazing or anything crazy to go for. It was just alright. It was okay. I get like Juvia's Place vibes a little bit, simply because of the bright colors and just the way that it's been placed. I kind of get Juvia's Place vibes, but on the outside not so much, and that's perfectly fine, because obviously I don't expect them to be a dupe for Juvia's Place. But I just felt like it was an alright palette. I don't feel like it was anything to go crazy for. But if you did have one of their coupon codes at the time, then I would have advised use the coupon code and get some money off if you did want to try it. But aside from that, I don't feel like it was anything to go like crazy for. And as I said, I don't even think they exist anymore, which is like Next I have the YSL All Hours foundation. Now this is a sample. I'll throw up a picture of the full size here. I absolutely love this foundation, and when I finally get through this, I will be buying another one. I felt like it was flawless, but it gave me that full coverage, and I love full coverage foundation, and who doesn't want to look flawless? This, oh my gosh, I absolutely adore it. I cannot wait to get the full bottle. But then by then probably something else would have come out, I don't know. And there was quite a few foundation releases this year that I really liked, but I feel like this was definitely one of the top ones. And you know, but considering the fact that it's Yves Saint Laurent, I expect for it to be quality. Like, you can't be charging high-end prices and giving me low-end quality. Like, that just makes absolutely no sense. So the YSL All Hours, if you haven't tried it, get a sample like I did. I think I got 2 samples, so this is the second one. I would definitely say, like, get the sample, try it out, see if you like it. That's the whole point in samples. I mean, Next I have the Sigma Creme de Couture palette. Now this was like a re-release. They had made this palette like a long time ago, and I think that this palette had, it was like a box, and then you kind of like took off the top box and then you used it like that, and then they like completely redesigned the packaging and like made it into a palette rather than a box palette. I absolutely love the colors. I love that they are predominantly pastel colors. They're predominantly pastels. I like pastels quite a bit, but also really like the fact that it's just a colourful palette. But even with saying that, it's beautiful, but you need to build it up in order for the eyeshadows to show. It's like they don't come to the party even though you invited it. Like, it just comes to the party and stays standing at the doorway. It's that kind of thing. It's kind of dusty, kind of ashy, rather than boom, here I am. And I would have expected for like a palette which looks like this, that just looks so bold, so beautiful, I would expect it to have a lot more, I would expect it to pack a punch, and it just didn't. It didn't. So it kind of puts me off wanting to try anything else by Sigma, well, especially in regards to their makeup anyway. Oh no. And then I have the Kevyn Aucoin Sensual Skin Fluid Foundation. Now this, I said it was nice, but it's probably best to use it in summer, because for me personally, I tend to stop wearing as many layers in summer. Like I tend to drop my primer. I tend to just put one layer of foundation. So even though this was nice, it just wouldn't do in any other season in the year aside from summer. And especially that this is worth £54. 54. This is what the bottle looks like. It's very luxe, it's very beautiful. It's like frosted glass, and it has a dropper applicator kind of thing, and that's all good, but I just kind of feel like I don't know if it's really worth the £54 price tag. I understand that you're paying for the name, but listen, I want this to be I want to be able to wear this all the year round, and I just felt like I couldn't. So that's that. Next is the Face Shop Coca-Cola palette. This was something, as soon as I saw this, I wanted it. I really wanted it. And this really is kind of reminiscent of Coca-Cola. And my notes say the colors are a bit light, but they blend well together, and they could have done with a black. And I still feel that way. I feel like a lot of the colors do remind me of Coca-Cola. Like obviously the red, you've got this color here which reminds me of actual cola. This reminds me of cherry cola. I understand why they have like these light shades here, but like, what about a black shade? Like, let's not forget Coke Zero. Coke Zero, like that whole thing is black, right? And I feel like they could have done with having a black. I feel like a lot of the things that Face Shop come out with are collabs. I feel they had, was it a Marvel palette? Which looked just like this one. There was like a blue version, and then there was a red one, and the red one, like the colors inside were practically the exact same as this Coca-Cola one. I was just kind of like, wow, they just repackaged the same shades and just slapped a different brand name on top of it. So this time it was Coke, and then last time it was Marvel, and next time it might be something else, and blah blah blah. And even though the brands that they are collabing with are brands that a lot of people like and can relate to, I just kind of feel like you're paying to have the collab rather than the shadows matching what the collab actually is. Does that make sense? Well, in reference to the Marvel one, it was just kind of like, I don't understand how those colors are Marvel, but whatever. Then I have my Viseart Trist palette, and my notes say that it's a nice palette, like the color story is great, but it's not worth the £37, and I really do feel that way. I felt like a lot of the hype that is around Viseart, I didn't understand it once I had tried this palette. And something that I have said is that I don't know if this palette and their regular palettes, which are like really expensive, I don't know whether or not the formulas of this and those are the same. And if it is, this is really disappointing, and I don't understand why people are paying so much money for Viseart. Maybe it will be worth me trying their regular Concealer collection, their standard range, I don't know, but I wasn't impressed. I wasn't impressed with this at all whatsoever. And it's kind of sad because it's a beautiful color theme. It's a beautiful color story. Just, ooh. So next I have Wet n Wild. The first time that I tried Wet n Wild, and it says that the rosé in the air had good pigmentation. This is supposed to be a dupe for the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. Yeah, this did have good pigmentation, but this one here, the Walking on Eggshells, and this was the one that piqued my interest because I know a lot of people back in the day were always ranting and raving about Walking on Eggshells. So when I got, like, this is like the new formula, new look palette, so it's up to date, and my notes say that it was too powdery and it was almost non-existent on my skin. Now I have to be honest with you, I'm not too sure if it's because my skin tone and these shadows just don't mesh. Like this shadow and this shadow here, you can say it's pretty much like my skin tone, and then that pink there, meh. Like, I don't know, I just think maybe my skin tone just wasn't suitable for this color story. Maybe it's just too close, so it just didn't show up. I don't know. Then I have the Revolution Pro Blur Stick. So Makeup Revolution have Revolution, I Heart Revolution, and now Revolution Pro. So these are like 3 different brands under one umbrella, and when you go into like Superdrug or whatever, they have 3 separate stands because they're 3 separate brands run by like the same parent company. So this is an amazing blurring primer stick. This is basically almost done. I'm digging out what I have left. I absolutely adore this. This is supposed to be like a dupe of the Milk Makeup Blur Stick that they have. I adore this, and once I finish this, I will be getting another one because I can't live without it. Aside for in summer, I drop my primer. I don't use primer at all, but I absolutely adore this. I feel like it fills my pores. It makes my skin just ready to take the foundation, and I absolutely love it. Get it and try it. I think it was like £10 and it lasts me ages, absolutely ages. Obviously if I was to wear primer during the summer, then this would have been gone a long time ago and I would have been on my second stick. But then we have the Morphe x Jaclyn Hill palettes Vault collection. This was all the way, it's like it was hit and miss. Some of the shadows were good and some of them were good, some of them were bad, and there was a lot of drama that centered around this Vault set. Now listen, you were able to get your money back or get a replacement, sorry, if you weren't happy with yours. I did get a replacement in the end. I wasn't even going to bother, but I did end up getting a replacement, which I haven't yet given away, but I am going to give away. I just kind of feel like some of the shadows were good, some of the shadows were bad, some of them were patchy, some of them just didn't show up, some of them were like bomb, some of them were amazing, pigmented. It was just kind of like all over the place. And my favorite one, I think, was like the purpley one. I can't remember what it was called, but it was like the purpley one. I really liked that, but I kind of felt that with the quality of the shadows, like some of them I just couldn't use. So there was only like 1 or 2 looks that I can really create with it that I was 100% happy with. Anyway, I don't feel like Morphe is really deserving of the hype that they get. The only reason why they get the hype that they get is because of all of the influencers who back them. But aside from that, I just kind of feel like, it just wasn't worth it for me, in my opinion. Next, we have the Smashbox Pinks and Palms palette. Now, this is actually something that I'm wearing on my eyes right now because I decided to go ahead and retry it. Now, when I first tried it, I felt like there wasn't much pigment and it was very chalky. Now, since I had tried this, I have changed the way that I do my eyeshadow, where I will put on my concealer, but I don't set it. So I feel like it works better that way. But if you are somebody who puts on their eyeshadow base and then sets it, this is gonna come off like it's really chalky, like it's not pigmented. And even though it might blend, like the shadows themselves might blend well together, you're gonna find that you're gonna have to build up and build up and build up and build up. But if you are the kind of person that puts their concealer down, doesn't set it, and then just puts their eyeshadow on top, you're gonna get a little bit more pigment, but you still need to build it up in order to get that pigment to show. It just is what it is. I'm not that impressed. I'm not that impressed by that because I kind of feel like, what was it, like 27, 20, it was like 23 or 27. Those are the two numbers that are sticking out in my mind, 23 and 27. Anyway, it was 20 something, and I feel like considering that I can get a Juvia's Place palette for 20 bucks and like the quality 9 times out of 10 is amazing, this really, like, I just kind of felt let down. I kind of felt let down, but as I said, I revisited it, and I feel like I'm going to start revisiting palettes and revisiting makeup that I haven't tried or haven't used in such a long time, because I feel like I'm buying it, I need to use it, I need to make sure I'm using it more than once or twice, like not just for the sake of a video, like I need to start using my makeup. Ooh, and then I've got this Lancome concealer. Let me just take the brush out. Yeah, this Lancome concealer, I got this in one of my boxes, one of my subscription boxes before I terminated my subscription, and I put here, it's very thick, it's not better than the Revolution concealer, and there's not a lot of product, so I just felt like it was too thick for like underneath my eyes. Maybe if you're using it for like an eyeshadow base, maybe, but not for under the eyes. It's just way too thick, and this is one of them that has like a powder on the side, and it's like you're just gonna end up getting powder in the cream, and then that's gonna be a whole thing. Oh gosh. But I'm gonna try and use it for something else. Even if I'm not using it under my eyes, I can use it for my eyeshadow concealer, yeah, my eyeshadow base. And then lastly, I've got the Dominique Cosmetics Lemonade palette. When I saw this color story, I was like, I want it. This does not scream lemonade to me. It really doesn't. It's kind of like just drinks, just summer drinks. So I don't know where she was going with saying that it's a lemonade palette. I just don't see lemonade, and at the end of the day, her concepts versus what I think it should be are different, but at the same time, I think something that we can agree on is that the color story in itself is beautiful. I feel like they didn't need to have 1, 2, and 3, simply because this one is like a cross between this one and this one. It's like a pink with a shift of gold, so I don't see why you need to have this if you've got this and this, but whatever, that's fine. The quality, really good. The quality was good. I just don't see lemonade, and I'm kind of fed up with these themed palettes that just don't follow the theme. Like, that was just irritating. These were all of the makeup items, makeup products that I tried in 2018. I'd never tried these brands before 2018, so I am so glad that I managed to get through so many new brands that I had never tried. I'm going to be doing a video of all of the new brands, or all of the brands that I would like to try in 2019 that I haven't yet tried, so do look out for that video, and leave some suggestions down below as well. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.